Wars are not won by evacuations. Those are the words of the Prime Minister Winston Churchill on June the 4th, 1940. Hey guys, this is Bruce Duty with Cross Country 3. Let's talk a little bit about why Winston Churchill made that statement. Again, the statement is, wars are not won by evacuations. You see, just a few days earlier, May the 26th, Allied troops, some 300,000 or more, had withdrawn from an area in the English Channel that was being overrun by the Nazis. Nazi Germany was continuing in their effort or their assault in the area, and the troops knew that if they were to survive, they would have to get on a bunch of private boats and escape. And that's exactly what they did. They evacuated the area, and so many lives were saved. Britain was extremely ecstatic over that they had survived. But the Prime Minister, with great leadership, said, wars are not won by evacuations. Now, as he was speaking to the House of Commons, he made this particular statement that perhaps you've heard before. We shall not flag nor fail. We shall not go on to the end. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. What great words, words of encouragement, words of exhortation. To do what? Never quit, never give in, never surrender. Why? Because wars are not won by evacuations. Friend, I don't know what you're going through, but I know this: you shouldn't give in, you shouldn't give up. I know you should not retreat, you should not surrender. If Satan has invaded that territory that you're in right now, you need to stand firm immediately. You need to stand with the Lord regularly. You need to stand firm and never surrender. If those around you are causing havoc in your life, you need to stand firm and stand your ground. Never give in and never give up. Sometimes we need to go through serious battles in our lives. I'm not talking about those little annoyances in life. Sometimes there are petty personal attacks that come, insults that come, and you just let that roll off your back. You got to move on. But sometimes the battle is serious business, and we need to remind ourselves that God didn't create us to live in a playground, but a battleground. We live here to stand firm in the faith. We are to do that every day of our lives. And that requires that we ready our minds, we ready our bodies, we ready our hearts and our spirits. We ready ourselves knowing that the times may be tough, and maybe those times are today. I'm drinking some hot tea right now, and that hot tea, while not my regular drink, I'm a coffee drinker, but you coffee drinkers know what I'm talking about. Hot tea just doesn't always measure up, but this particular hot tea on a cool day can help me warm up, put a little bit of lemon in there and some honey, and well, it just feels good on cold days like this. What I've learned when I do make hot tea is this: when I put the tea bag in cold water, it doesn't work so good. When I put the tea bag in warm water, it didn't work so hot either. It actually needed to be hot. The water needed to be hot in order for me to steep the tea bag. In order for me to have some hot tea, it had to go through some hot water. You do too sometimes. Perhaps God is preparing you So don't give in. Don't give up. Don't surrender. Don't retreat, because wars are not won by evacuations. Go through the hot water. Face them with faith and not fear. Move forward, knowing that the Lord is with you. Trust the Lord. Talk to him and walk with him. You know, David had to be prepared for all that was lying before him. And so as a shepherd, he was ready to defend the sheep from the ferocious creatures that would sneak in and try to attack those sheep. He learned as a shepherd to protect, to fight, to defend, to stand his ground. And then, of course, there's Goliath. And that was a step up in battle, was it not? He had to go against Goliath and do it on his own. And yet he did just that. He stood with trust in God, and he stood with his feet firmly planted on the ground. You remember, where God has placed you is holy ground. That's sacred ground. Where God leads you, he will not leave you. So don't give up the fight. Don't evacuate. Stand firm in the faith. Paul wrote to Timothy, discipline yourselves for the purpose of godliness. So just dig deeper and discipline yourself for the purpose of godliness. That's tough. You got to aim high to do that, but it's going to pay off. The rewards are going to be plenty. Some of those rewards, I'm sure you will receive here on earth, because you'll just be blessed by walking with God and trusting in difficult times and not giving in or giving up. But friends, I know that your eternal rewards will be even more than that. So you hang in there. You don't give in or give up. You don't surrender or retreat. You stare that monster in the face and you stand firm in the faith. And that monster, however Goliath's size it might be, you trust in the Lord. You give him your heart and you stand firm in the faith. Joshua was going into a land that required giving all of himself and leading like he'd never led before. So God said to him, be strong and courageous. And maybe that's what God's saying to you. Be strong and courageous. Hang in there. Don't give up the fight. You just keep moving forward, because wars are not won by evacuations. Take care. We'll see you next time. God bless.